Hey there, sport! Don't you have D&D today? Are you running it? Well then, why aren't you ready? Well gosh, you have to prepare. You can't just sit there and wait for your friends to show up and have nothing ready. What campaign are you running? Oh, the Humblewood campaign, huh? I've heard that's a good one. You can support it on Kickstarter right now. Well, let's start with your DM screen. Some DMs like to use DM screens, some don't. DM screens are great for a multitude of reasons. My favorite reason is the establishment of dominance of, hello, I control the world, I have so many secrets that I have to put this piece of wood in between you and me because what is beyond this would blow your mind. Really, it's a respectful difference in roles. You are the Dungeon Master, and they are the players. And in being the Dungeon Master, you get this little secret area. And this does create a bit of predetermined respect out of your players since you get the special area. Hiding dice rolls is nice, but hiding your note stats and whatever else could be beyond that screen is also really important. So if you're going to set up your DM screen before the game, my recommendation is Passive Perceptions, Initiative Paper, Monster Manual, DM's Guide, PHB, dice, minis you'll plan on using before the game starts so you're not like, don't look at me, grab this mini over here, notes, and you should be all set. That's a very basic setup right there, but if you wanted to use something else, I have my own very specific setup that I use, specifically with tech and using a laptop, which I'll go over right now, but you can do whatever you want. I'm just sharing my tips. I use a laptop for pretty much everything. I am a tech DM and I love it. I use a few things with the laptop. First off, music. I've got a Spotify connected to a Bluetooth speaker that I use to play music for moments in my game.
Powering on. Ready to pair. Paired.
I've curated a bunch of playlists on an account called RPG Playlists. If you want to check it out on Spotify, mine are the ones with the thumbnails. Second, I use an initiative tracker called Improved Initiative, not sponsored. It's an in-browser initiative tracker made by Evan Bailey, so you should go support him on Patreon, where you can track everyone's hit points, conditions, etc. And you can even create a player window that you can send to your friends. It's really helpful and really nice, and they can see everybody's hit points. It makes combat so much faster and so much smoother. Notes and character sheets and D&D Beyond. All my players use D&D Beyond, and I have a bunch of homebrew stuff there. Being able to quickly look up rules or character stats is incredibly useful when halting combat to figure out if Cloud of Daggers does damage twice a round or just on the creature's turn. So those are the big reasons on why I tend to use a laptop, and I know it can be a bit complicated in comparison to using paper and keeping it simple, but my whole thing as a Dungeon Master is keeping my players engaged and immersed. I want things to work quickly and well, so I like using tech. So, you're basically ready. Is there any more prep we can do? Well, if you're going to use minis, draw out your maps. You can go old Matthew Mercer style and get some easel pad and draw out your maps beforehand, so that you don't have to pause the game in order to make the terrain. I draw a map per possible encounter for the game, but you never know what to expect. You could make a few like forest or other random terrain areas just in case. If you're handy with some tools or ready to drop a bunch of money, you can also get a table with a TV in it, or just prop up a TV and use Fantasy Grounds or Roll20 for your maps. Or you can use a whiteboard. Whatever the heck you want. Also, just some other things you can do to make your players have some more fun. Clean your dang table, have seats for everyone ready, and make sure that there is room for them to sit. Nobody wants to feel uncomfortable. And now you're ready, sport. You can bring your friends to play some D&D and have a super fun time. Just remember that none of these tips matter so long as everyone has fun at the table. Oh, and make sure to read the entire Player's Handbook and Dungeon Master's Guide. Oh, and Xanathars. You wouldn't want to forget that. This video was sponsored by Humblewood, a campaign setting made by the Deck of Many. They have a Kickstarter going on right now. You guys should go check it out. It's got birdfolk races, new monsters and stuff for 5th edition, and it even comes with all these minis and maps and lots of cool stuff. They put a lot of thought and effort into it, and it's really great. So go check it out, and I will see you next video.